Hey, was ist los? It's your German boy, and welcome back to Planetarian. Now, in the last episode, you made me agree to accompany us back to our car, and from there, we're probably gonna take her home, let's be honest. So, I can't wait to get into this episode. Let's go. The streets were empty. Shutters encrusted with rust and bicycles standing where they'd been abandoned 30 years ago were being deluged by the rain. I flipped off the safety of my grenade launcher, and I slowly surveyed my surroundings. There was no sign of warmongers, nor was there any sign of pedestrians with their umbrellas. Nothing at all had changed since I first arrived in this sarcophagus city. I was very strongly struck by the incongruous feeling that I was the only living being in this entire place now. It was the first time I'd felt such a thing, she said, as if she were musing about the exact same thing I was. That's because of the rain. Let's go. I walked out into the street from the eaves, wearing the hood of my cloak low over my eyes. As I heard the sound of the rain hitting the road, the feeling of incongruity disappeared. At that moment, she seemed to hesitate over something. I crossed the main street without slowing down and then concealed myself near the opposite sidewalk. Hurry up! And finally, she began to cross as well. She walked with a relaxed gait as if she were going shopping in the neighborhood. Faster, please. We ain't got all day. We gotta get you to a charger, and I know a settlement not too far from here. She whispered over to me and smiled. Just then, a sheet of spray spouted up. She lost her balance and sprawled over in the middle of the road. Bracing herself with both hands, she arose in a most smooth and refined manner. After that, she picked up the bouquet from the mud. She then continued to cross the road as if nothing had happened. That's very adorable. Very adorable. I'm only going to ask once. Are you alright? Make sure you don't fall in the first place, then. And until we get to the settlement, I know a guy who might be able to fix you up, so just bear with me, okay? She lightly bowed her head with complete calm. I don't really mind. If you're going to insist on chattering, at least whisper, please. Her voice obediently shrank down to a whisper. Let it go. There's an electrical outage right now. More importantly, can't you walk any faster? 8 kilometers per hour, huh? Hang on a second, I need to do some math. Okay, so it's just a little under 5 miles per hour. I mean, I probably could have done a field test in Misaka, because I could just set her speedo to kph and mph, but I don't have the time to wait. Let's keep going. She confirmed, puffing out her chest proudly. It's always like this.
やはりどこも不景気なんですね。
She said earnestly, looking out at the depressed remains of buildings that seemed to lend credence to her words.
前回外出した折にはたくさんの方々で賑わっていたのですが、
I started putting together a plan of action. It was a little over 3 kilometers from here to the rift in the quarantine wall, at least as the bird flew. If she was going to continue to fall over in the middle of the road and scold me over traffic laws that ceased to be years ago, we could probably just barely reach the rift in an hour. However, the patrolling squads of heavy hunter-killer mechs made it dangerous to utilize the major roads. So it would probably be better to take a detour east and head toward the rift using side paths. Even so, that was going to take several hours. She was the big problem here. If any one of the autonomous combat units spotted this ditz of a companion robot, she would not be able to produce a corresponding IFF signal and would thus be targeted as an enemy mech. If all their scanners would not detect the signature of a living organism coming from her, there was no mistake they would pick up on her movements. Alright, listen up.
はい。
If you're going to continue following me, then do not open your mouth, please. And if you happen to get separated from me, then don't worry and head straight back.
いえ、そういうわけにはいきません。
Which command is that a response to?
はい、後者です。諸事情を勘案しますと、お客様を無事にお送りすることが私の使命だと考えます。
Your mission, huh? I'd heard those words being spoken so many times in the past, but I'd never once met a person who had truly believed in them.
それに、実を申しますと、私は外出するのが好きなんです。
That makes 2 of us.
以前はよく街角に立って通行人の方々に投影のお知らせをしたものです。プラネタリウムはいかがでしょう。
Look, I told you not to speak if at all possible.
はい、申し訳
There
あ
are
りません。
bastards out there that might fuck us over. She allowed the next 10 seconds to pass in silence, as if she were punishing herself for her trespass. I was confronted with a problem that had no solution. Just what was I thinking taking her with me like this? I mean, it's me we're talking about here, so you guys could do the math. It was true that I could not for even a second think that it was permissible to just leave her in that planetarium that had now lost all of its faculties. But what other choices did I have? Hers was an existence that should have ceased to be 30 years ago. Just why did I care so much about this broken robot? Again, you know me, so... Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! Damn it!
お客様、ご気分が優れないようでしたら。
I'm fine. Don't worry about it.
はい。
Right. There was no time to be thinking about this kind of problem right now. I couldn't do anything about whether she was going to continue to exist or not with my hands alone. If an emergency struck, it would just be better to desert her. She wouldn't be able to catch up to me either. I didn't care about what would become of her after that. That's where we differ. Let's go.
はい。
I once again stepped out into the rain. In the space of 1 hour, I felt as if I'd already done a decade's worth of penance. The air had grown chilly, the rain was continuing to fall as it always had. Although the sidewalks were also immersed, they were not so bad as to be unwalkable yet. It didn't seem as if there were any combat units in the area either. If I made skillful use of the alleyways, the various road blockades wouldn't be much of a problem too. Yet I still found myself in the heart of this sarcophagus city.
ご覧ください、お客様。
She said happily, twisting her entire body as she looked around.
あちらのお店のバニラシュークリームはとても好評で、いつでも行列ができています。
And sure enough, there was a fallen billboard on the side of the road that read, "Delicious handmade cream puffs here." But the line of which it spoke was nowhere to be seen. Within the span of these 30 years, the baker's skill must have fallen considerably.
お客様はシュークリームはお好きですか？
I've never eaten them before, so whether I like them or not is irrelevant.
そうですか。今はちょうど空いているようです。お土産に一つお求めになってはいかがでしょう。よろしければお得な割引券をご用意できますので。
God, how many of those things can you whip out? There's no line, but there's no merchandise either. As I said this, she looked with wonder at the refrigerated case that now only had a price tag sticking on it.
そうですね。残念ですが品切れのようです。
She said this as if nothing unfortunate had happened at all. Look, cut out the guided tour and just concentrate on walking faster. I'm in a bit of a hurry.
はい、承知しました。ですが、今日は地面が濡れていますので、あまりお急ぎになりますと。
And just as she said that, one of her feet got snagged on the junction between two tiles. Just like that, she lost balance and tumbled to the ground with a crash. The bouquet flew from her hands and parts of the flowers scattered about. She didn't cry out, nor did she clutch any parts of her body in pain. It was almost like a sight. She got up in a single smooth movement and then picked up the fallen bouquet with a conscientious air.
申し訳ありません。花束が少し壊れてしまいました。
I don't mind.
ありがとうございます。このように地面が大変滑りやすくなっておりますので。
Look, I get it, so no more of these performances.
はい。
If I have to, I will carry you to the juncture.
ご覧ください、お客様。
As if nothing in the past couple of hours had happened, she stepped up to a large fluorescent billboard.
こちらのビルの5階には当デパート提携のビアホールがございます。新鮮な魚介料理とともにさまざまな地ビールをお楽しみになれます。
Sounds good.
今でしたらお得な飲食割引券が印刷できます。よろしければお寄りになってはいかがでしょう。
Are you coming with me in order to nurse me along, or are you coming with me in order to give me discount coupons? Just which of the two is it? Just as I said this, she looked up at me in
お
worry.
客様、失礼ですが介護が必要な状況ですか？
That is not what I meant. Now please, just quit it and walk more quickly, okay?
はい、承知しました。
She answered with her usual smile.
ちなみに割引券はすべて無期限でご使用になれます。
I have nothing to do with them. If you need them, then you use them.
ありがとうございます。ですが、私はロボットなので飲食はできません。お気持ちだけありがたく頂戴します。
Right. Just be grateful and please take them back. It was dawning on me that there was no way I could correct her tendency to chatter. Not anytime soon. At least there was the fact that there was little chance that our sounds could be detected from any long distance, thanks to the constant pounding of the rain. But the burning problem was...
お客様、大変申し訳ありません。
She suddenly stopped as if she had read my mind. Since, unlike a human being, her movements were never telegraphed, it was disconcerting no matter how many times I watched her. You need another break?
はい、ただいま 大体部動力ユニットが過熱しています。冷却が必要です。
She said apologetically as she stood stock still. It seems that her movement was made possible by a network of old-style micromotors and conductive fiber meshes. The flaw in that particular design was the fact that the entire apparatus tended to overheat quite rapidly when participating in anything more than light labor. And on top of that, her cooling system was not the best of shape either. But when we get there, I know a guy who can get you fixed up. In terms of her manufacture date, she was much older than I was. Although there were probably several chronic diseases lying in wait for me fairly soon as well.
本当に申し訳ありません。
I understand. Not having any other choice, I headed over to the innermost part of the eaves and sat down. She walked next to me, bent her knees, and gently sat down as well. She quietly placed the bouquet on the ground next to her. This was our 4th break already. How far have we walked now?
はい、花火師デパートの表口から計測しまして1122メートルです。
I opened the cover to my watch and took stock of the time. So our average speed is 1 kilometer per hour.
はい、平均時速およそ1キロです。
And what is your top speed again?
時速8キロです。
I see. How impressive.
はい、ありがとうございます。
I did not feel as if I could calm down unless I could somehow summon the fool who had drawn up her specification sheet and fire a few rounds. That's fucking brutal.
本当によく降りますね。
It is.
お客様は雨はお好きですか？
Not really. I don't.
そうですか。実を申しますと、私は雨が大好きなんです。
Because you get more customers coming to the planetarium, yeah?
はい、その通りなんです。
I thought as much.
はい、以前に館長さんは雨が降っていると星が特別貴重なものに感じられるんだよと教えてくれました。
I see.
そうそう、以前にこんなことがありました。あるお客様からプラネタリウムの中では傘がいりますかと問い合わせをいただいたんです。
I raised my waterproof cloak a little bit and unfastened the canteen from my belt. While I drank that foul-smelling pisswasser, she stopped talking and merely stared over at me.
お客様、お聞きしてよろしいですか？
Plus,
差し支えなければお客様の病状について私も情報を把握しておきたいのですが。
she said with a dead serious face, so it seems that there was no longer any way to dissuade her from thinking I was sick. My illness, huh? I stoppered up the canteen and gazed up at the sky. I thought about how bad it would be to allow the downpouring drops of rain to strike exposed skin. It's a very common condition, nothing really worth worrying about.
はい、申し訳ありませんでした。
She said easily. It seems that she had decided that it would be wiser to press no further. It struck me as funny that even someone whose talkativeness could wear out a saint would know that there were certain private matters that should not be broached in a conversation. Then again, during the time she worked, it was probably a very valuable skill to know what was okay to talk about and what was not.
ところでお客様はお仕事は何をなさっているのでしょう？
She changed the topic as if she knew what I was thinking about. I am a junker. As I wondered what the hell I was doing, I answered her and smiled bitterly to myself.
と申しますと？
She cocked her head in doubt, as she always had in situations like these, and asked again. To put it in words that you would understand, You could call me a garbage collector.
廃品回収業ですか。それは大変尊いお仕事ですね。
She replied with a sweet smile on her face. Because even trash men like me have their importance. I was willing to bet that her response would have been the same if she had asked a god of death the same question.
私の筐体はリサイクル性を第一とした設計がなされておりまして。
We're going now, alright? Before she could start showing off her abilities, I stood up and threw my backpack around my shoulder.
はい、参りましょう。
And then, as she started to pick up the bouquet without having learned her lesson, I said to her, "Leave it right there."
そいつというのはこの花束のことでしょうか。
Yeah, you're just liable to fall the more you carry it around, right?
ですがこれはお客様のものですので。
Look, I also happen to be the one telling you to toss it.
ですが。
Fine, that bouquet is mine, so give it to me.
どうぞ、お客様の花束です。
She presented the somewhat lighter bouquet to me with a huge smile on her face. My bouquet, huh? I stared deliberately at the thing I was about to throw onto the roadway. Right, this just proves that I was unlikely to get used to her aesthetic sense. Finally, I secured the bouquet with one of my backpack straps. Even if I threw such a light thing away at this point, it was not as if my burden would decrease any.
ありがとうございます。
Whether she knew of my internal struggle or not, she suddenly thanked me. Yeah, well... Oof. That's actually a pretty good burn, not gonna lie. I answered.
それでは参りましょう。
She then proceeded to... Love it! She then proceeded to snuggle up next to me as if it were a matter of course. We had been walking for roughly 2 hours. An old shopping district spread out before us. Unlike the district of high-rises that we had come from, here was a cluster of low buildings, 2 stories at the most, crowding left and right around the roadways. And in their midst, one shop in pitiful shape revealed itself from the midst of the rain. It seems that this was once a liquor shop. Half of an old wooden signpost was engraved with the simple legend, "Liquor Store." The warped and bent iron plates of what had once been door shutters, along with chunks of plaster building material, were strewn on the nearby streets, and glass fragments were scattered about. From the destruction, it looked as if the storefront had been torn apart by the blast of a grenade at point-blank range. It was impossible to tell whether this was the intentional handiwork of another junker or collateral damage from a battle. The spectacle of that fresh destruction in the midst of this dead ruin, for which time had otherwise stopped, was as dissonant as a comb that had lost all its teeth.
お客様、お聞きしてよろしいでしょうか。
She suddenly cut in.
これは車両衝突やガス爆発等の事故でしょうか。
One could say something like that.
でしたら、速やかに救援を呼ばなければなりません。
She at once set about testing her radio communications that she was so proud of, but it was not as if she would receive a response. After 10 seconds, she spoke.
サポートセンターに事故情報を紹介していますが、受講されません。おそらく停電のためと考えられます。私単体では対処できない事態です。とても困りました。
It was already taken care of a long time ago. Look, I'll prove it to you. There's nobody around, is there now? She anxiously hung her head. Just how many times had I seen that particular action out of her?
はい、状況を理解しました。
What a flashy way to go about breaking things, though. I armed my grenade launcher again. Wait here.
はい、わかりました。
As she saw me off with a very out-of-place smile, I carefully approached the door. I surveyed the tableau that greeted me. Fragments of light brown and light green colored glass were dispersed all over the narrow interior of the shop. Had I been present at the moment of impact, I probably could have got dead drunk off the stench alone. But time and the rain had now caused everything to sober up. Certainly, if I searched carefully, I might be able to find a surviving bottle or two. And with that new quest in mind, I think now's a good time to leave things off. So, it's your boy about to do some real world booze shopping. Auf Wiedersehen.